All right, I am in the car with an awesome shuttle driver, Dave. Dave picked me up at Newfound Gap, is going to drop me off this morning. We are headed up into the Smokies, and really, because it's not sunny and bright, the colors are really nice. I'm going to turn it around so you can see it. Got a little bit of rain yesterday, not a lot, but the little bit of rain should help. And now we're headed up into the hills. I'll touch in when I'm on trail. Good morning from the trail. It's about 40 degrees, dense fog, everything is wet and slippery. Hey guys, just arrived at a shelter to get some water. Had a negative, which is the water's about, they say, is almost a mile down, which is not something I'm going to do, but had a positive. There's some guys camping here, and they are paisanes. Estos muchachos están aquí en la experiencia de lo que es el trek. So they're here experiencing the full Appalachian Trail. And it was a delight to meet them and talk to them. I'm going to hustle down the trail. I just met some wonderful day hikers. He's originally from Grand Rapids, and he's hiking with his daughter up to Charlie's Bunyan. I'm going to skip that today because there's no views. Everything is fogged in here at altitude. But cool thing is, she's a college student that does a lot of athletic stuff and loves to hike. So we just had a great visit, talking all things Michigan football and the Lions, of course. But one of the things I've really enjoyed about being on trail is just the really cool people I've been able to interact with. I just came over what I am pretty sure is the high spot for the day, 6,200 feet. And to put that in perspective, Clingman's Dome is at 6,600 feet. Mount Washington is only at 6,280 feet. So really high. The negative is that there are no views today because we're still clouded in. So from here down to the next shelter, which gives me almost 11 miles for the day, is pretty much some downhills. One thing that's different about today is I noticed that mostly climbing really narrow little ledges along the side of the mountain, and every once in a while just a little spine on a ridge, but most of the time forest that's evergreen like this, and these little ledges that are working alongside the tops right there, but right on the top of these mountain ridges. Hey, just met a cool group of guys. They're from Nashville, and they are getting the total experience on the trail, about 4 miles from the shelter, and they're hoping to live. That's what their hope is, to live. I'm at about mile 10 for the day and still no views. I just passed a spot that I'm sure is amazing, but because you're fogged in, no views. Okay, it's time for me to make a decision. The decision is that it is 20 to 2. I could stay at this shelter, which is right around the 10.5 mile mark, but it's early enough. The other shelter is 5 miles away. And the difference that it makes is if I go to the other shelter, then tomorrow I could be out of the Smokies with a 17-mile day. Several thru hikers already told me that the last 17 miles is more about altitude dropping rather than altitude gain. So I would knock out the 1,600 feet that it takes to get to that shelter in 5 miles. And then tomorrow just make a big day and get to the Standing Bear Farm, which is at Davenport Gap. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop my pack and I'm going to take a half a liter of water out of my pack, and that'll lighten it up by another pound, and that'll give me enough water for the climb. If I stay here at this shelter, it's almost a half a mile off of the trail, and then in the morning I have to climb 400 feet out, and it means an extra night in the Smokies. So that's the decision I'm going to go with. My legs feel really good today. The weather has been very humid, so I'm not drinking as much water because when you get to these panting situations or mouth breathing, the water's moist. The air is moist, so that's what I'm planning on doing. Quick change of plans here. Okay, I made all the necessary pack adjustments. Just got a half a liter of water out, got a protein bar, and moved some cashews to the front. Got 5 miles to go to the next shelter. That's where I'm headed. Just met another cool thru hiker, southbounder. Her name is Fireflow, and her hope is to be able to get home just after Thanksgiving. And before I met Fireflow, met another guy. His name is Chuckster. And I'll show a picture of Chuckster. But they've kind of been hiking together the last little bit, both hoping to finish up their hike. Today is Veterans Day. If you served or somebody in your family did, give them a big thank you from me. Sure appreciate those who gave of themselves and their time to serve our great country. I have about a half a mile till I get to the shelter, and I'm so excited. It's just a little bit after 4 o'clock, so plenty of daylight to do my thing as far as get something to eat. I've not had lunch, so I'll just have a big supper and that'll work out really good. Seen a little bear scat on the trail. I'm not worried about that, but it just means I need to do my food prep and then get my stuff hung up before dark. Thank you so much for following along. I'll probably take a photo of the shelter as a final for the night, and really do Wish I could have shown you some nice views. There just weren't any for today. And that happens sometimes. That's what it's like being on the trail. You just have to flex. Want to give a shout out to Evelyn, Tucker, Jason, Quinn, Carson, Duke, and Briella. They, from time to time, will watch, and I really appreciate their following along on this journey. I'll see you guys soon. Thanksgiving dinner is sounding better all the time, for sure. But I'm going to close the video out. The shelter that I chose is just far enough away from Davenport Gap and just far enough away from Newfound Gap that you're not going to get any day hikers. So there may be one or two people there. There may be nobody at all. But most of the other hikers, they're at the shelters that we passed. All right, we'll talk later. All right, made it to the Tri-Corner shelter. Got a little food cooking. Got here and met a cool guy named...
Hi everyone, I'm Mike.
Mike's from Florida, from Jupiter. Diver, really interesting guy that loves to backpack. He, like me, likes to punish himself, and made it here at like 4:15. Great water. The pipe is literally 20 feet from where I'm sitting, so that made it really nice. And I'm going to close out the video here, and we'll see you back on the trail tomorrow.